something like 2,000 people died riding these during the Victorian period.
Are you looking forward to your lesson? Are you, Rob?
Can we have a running order? What are we going to do first?
Oh, we never have running orders, Steve. We just do it.
Like free talk.
Robert, have you ever had a group of Penny Farthing riders arrive at Hemswell Antiques Centre?
This is absolutely bonkers. No, we haven't. Definitely not.
And talking of bonkers, but wonderful, these two gentlemen, please introduce yourselves.
Dr. Payne, Penny Farthing enthusiast and gentleman adventurer.
I like it already.
Robert Steadman, Penny Farthing freak of Lincolnshire, and I'm the only one left in Lincolnshire still riding a Penny Farthing.
Wonderful. I'm loving that pith helmet, Robert. Isn't that cool?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I've never ridden a Penny Farthing before, but I'm going to have the fun experience of riding that one.
Are you actually going to do it?
Well, I can reach the pedals on that one. I can't reach the pedals on this one, David, unfortunately.
They are absolutely exquisite things, aren't they? I mean, Robert, what was it that first drew you to Penny Farthings?
Oh, Penny Farthing, I've been riding history bikes all my life, and I saw a black and white photo of a Penny Farthing, and I got myself one, and I took one look at it and went, oh, sugar, how do I get on that thing? So I had to go on the internet and teach myself how to ride it.
And you did that yourself?
I taught myself on my own.
Gosh, what about you and Steve?
I witnessed a gentleman cycling over the South Downs on a very similar machine, and I stopped him and asked him where he got it from, and went to the same place and bought the same model, and here I am. I was the first person to ride across Europe on a Penny Farthing wearing a suit of armour.
I don't even know what to say about that. Why?
Rum had a great deal to do with it. I'm a gentleman adventurer by trade and was the first person to cross the Alps on a space hopper. But Penny Farthings appealed to me because of the eccentricity of the bicycle itself, the extra visibility that you get while you're on top of it, and the fact that you're actually quite safe while you're up on here, because cars and lorries and so forth, they give you a very wide berth.
I suppose they can see you coming, can't they?
Oh, yeah,
yes.
It's all fun.
Yeah. But looking at you two, you're very shy and retiring, aren't you?
Course.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, we're
Yes.
very shy.
You don't like to be noticed at all,
No,
do you, Robert?
I'm only
Yeah.
a member of all the steampunk clubs in the UK. I'm only a walking peacock.
Now, what about the history? It is a fascinating history, isn't it?
It is, yes. In fact, we were going to say 5 interesting things about Penny Farthings. The first one is that they're not called Penny Farthings. That's obviously a reference to the relative size of the wheels. The penny in the Victorian era and the farthing was a very large coin and a very small coin.
So it's just a nickname.
It was a nickname. The actual name for this bicycle is the ordinary bicycle. And after so many people died whilst riding them, they actually went back to the drawing board, redesigned them, and came up with what we now know today as the safety bicycle.
Which looks remarkably like any other bicycle you'll see on the road.
It is. It's pretty much the modern bicycle.
Around 50 years between that, because the bike between that still had the monster wheel, but they went to that version, that's the nets, because that is safer than this.
Right, okay.
It took them 50 years to make the safety frame.
So it was a real evolution from the 1870s to about 1880, I believe, wasn't it, when the safety cycle was introduced?
They didn't last very long.
No,
They
for
lasted
good
maybe
reason.
10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
Something like 2,000 people died riding these during the Victorian period.
Are you looking forward to your lesson, are you, Rob?
I hope I'm going to have some props either. So have I got some stabilisers? I think I need to go and get changed.
Here, Matt.
So 10 years in existence, but is there much of a following today, and is it growing?
There is quite a following, yes. There are penny farthing clubs all over the place, historical riding clubs. There's also the game of penny farthing polo, and England and Scotland regularly compete in the finals, but the Japanese have a team, the Brazilians have a team.
Wow.
And down at Cowdray Park in Sussex, they often hold the World Championships of the polo penny farthing sport, which is great fun because most of the riders spend most of the time on their backside.
I'm so looking forward to your lesson. I really am.
Thanks, David. I hope you're going to have a go as well.
I'm too busy making magical films about antiques and penny farthings. What else should the viewer we have viewers all over the world. They're going to be fascinated in these bikes. What else can you tell them that they might not have already known?
The Penny Farthing is the world's first racer. The Penny Farthing was first invented to race. And they got professional races in London and around the UK where they still race them. Penny Farthing is a racer.
Okay, so the very first bike clubs ever in the history of the world
Racing.
were formed by penny farthing riders.
Yes.
For racing.
For racing, because obviously the larger the front wheel gets, the faster you can go. They're also largely responsible for women's lib. The cycling clubs became very popular in the late 1800s with ladies. Now, ladies traditionally wouldn't have gone out without a gentleman escort, but with a bicycle club, they could go out all together on their bicycles for what is basically a social gathering. The thing being that you can't ride one of these wearing a skirt, so they began to wear trousers. And once they'd organised penny farthing clubs and were wearing trousers, the slippery slope was well and truly underway.
And the vote was coming their way then, Robert, as well. The penny farthing is responsible. How wonderful. For the suffragettes.
Yes, for the suffragettes. In fact, the very first Women's Institute meeting was basically the local penny farthing club at the Fox Goes Free pub down in Sussex. And they decided that if they could cycle bicycles like a gentleman, there were probably other things they could do that were traditionally the gentleman's preview as well.
And they were right, weren't they?
There is a penny side saddle penny farthing out there, but the lady's only ridden it once, and it's lethal.
Side saddle penny farthing.
There is a side saddle penny farthing out there because the ladies with the fancy title, the duchesses and all that lot, they didn't want to be look like a man. They wanted their nice dresses, so they bented a side saddle penny farthing, but they had to have the servants to hold on to it so they could ride it.
Isn't that fantastic? Now, what about value? We talk about values on this channel, don't we, Robert? I mean, Hemswell Antiques Centre here has hundreds of thousands of antiques.
Yeah.
Value, price has to come into it.
Very much so.
So, how much are penny farthings worth?
You've got to be quite careful because they are quite popular in places like South Korea, and the build quality of some of the Far Eastern bicycles is perhaps not what you would want.
Okay.
And being that the riding position is quite precarious, safety is paramount.
Okay.
So your average value for a penny farthing might range from something around £1,000 for a foreign replica. You could get an English replica professionally built by enthusiasts for around about £1,500, £1,800 as an entry level. But of course, the original rideable bicycles can fetch up to £9,000 or £10,000 in good condition. Of course, many of them aren't in good condition, and there are very few people that can service them. But if you can find a good rideable original penny farthing with its paintwork intact, with none of the bits missing, then you could be looking at quite a bit of money.
Wow. Okay, so it's not a cheap hobby, is it, Robert?
I think I'll stick to my motorbike. This looks a little bit dangerous, this does, but I'll have a go.
Good.
And of course, the other thing to consider is that you're not going to look good on a penny farthing wearing a modern lycra outfit.
Oh, I don't know. I think Robert's going to look fantastic on a penny farthing in his lycra.
Well, I'll go and have a look for a suit.
That will do.
I'll go and have a look for my penguin suit. I'm sure we've got one here somewhere.
Right, well, I'm going to follow this video then with Robert and his penny farthing lesson. How's that? Something to look forward to. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Say goodbye.
You're very welcome.